Hi there. I want to talk about an event that I feel is relatively unique, and I have not found many people talk about it. Um, in actuality, I only found one mention of it in a book over 100 of years ago. Um, which is very weird because it's just one mentioning of a similar event in that book. The person kind of hints at that it's pretty common or can be common, and also I would assume that in maybe like yoga circles and Buddhistic circles it's probably also not really an outstanding thing, but still I kind of want to mention it. One thing I want to add is that in that book, I don't know the name anymore or the author or anything, but it was written in an unbelievably sophisticated vocabulary. Like every fifth word I couldn't even understand. Insane. I don't know if this is of any value. Well, it's actually pretty. The event is pretty easy. Mm, it sounds crazy, but it's what happened. Um, I had an event where the consciousness in a snap of two fingers went somewhere else. And at the time, I thought, wow, this is unbelievable, right? Um, but the older I get, the the most unbelievable thing is actually the instantaneous quality. Um, or to put it, okay, you have the event that consciousness can be transported or is much has a very different quality than in our day-to-day life, we assume, but also that it is instantaneous. The quality of the instantaneousness is the longer that's in the past is the more this stands out to me, at least. I don't really know why I want to capture this. I feel maybe if at some point I'm deceased, and I don't know, I kind of don't want to let it go to waste. Maybe there's a meaning in that. I don't really know. Um, my experiences in with sharing this has been rather negative, both for me and for the other person. For example, if there's some spiritual people I shared this with, um, it kind of it it does something to their ego that's negative. I don't really know how that works. It's just my experience. Maybe that had more to do with the person I shared it with or the people I shared it with. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. There's really nothing more to it. It's it has influenced my life, which was already pretty weird and made it even weirder. Um, it didn't really manage to take away the fear of death, but in actuality, it did. I have to be fair. I don't believe in a God, or I don't believe in life after death, but I know there's I know that the realm of consciousness is insanely bigger than what we humans experience experience from day to day. Hmm. One thing of note, maybe to add, is that when I had that experience, I was also aware that wherever I was or whatever that was, wasn't the last level. Like, the, maybe there's infinite. I don't know. I don't know how to call this, levels or whatever you want to call that, right? Um, so even if you would stay in that realm for a while, um, you there would even be a possibility to exceed that, which it's one kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is a much more common experience. I don't know. Whenever I share that, people think you're crazy, or people are weirded out, or their egos go on trips. Well, I need to do that, whatever. Um, yeah, it definitely in the long term has healed me from any um, half-assed spiritual seeking of. Um, Sometimes you see these portrayals of enlightenment where it's always portrayed as this just positive thing and just positive, but I feel the reality is very different. Um, because the one thing it does, it further ostracizes you, and if you don't have a setup, and I think I don't have a setup where there's nothing I can't make sense of it. There's no I don't believe in God. I don't have religion. All that crap. I don't care for that shit. Um, so I have no setup. So it kind of can fuck you up pretty good because you're like, what am I supposed to do now with this knowledge? Is very weird. Yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just had to get it out in case I would regret this being deceased and not having at least put it out, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, if you have any questions, or I don't really know that much, to be frank, because it's quite a long time ago. Um, um, if you want to share similar experiences, I'm very happy to exchange in some form or another, because I always struggle to find people having similar experience. As I said, I only have seen it mentioned in one book, over 100 years old. I only remember a very weird person, famous person, with an insanely intelligent vocabulary. Mm, yeah, and that person said, okay, it's rather a common experience, but I haven't really seen it mentioned somewhere. And as far as I understand it, in yogi or Buddhistic circles, it's kind of supposed to be an illusionary experience, but it doesn't really fit my experience because it was normal reality, just flipped, and then I flipped back, and maybe that I can mention that how it flipped back. I was caring for another person in my vicinity, and in that moment it flipped back. So I think the realization, oh, I'm a being, and there's another being, and I need to comfort that being, other being, because the other person thought there's something wrong with me because my reaction to the experience was laughter, and they thought I laugh about them, which wasn't the case. Um, yeah, I don't know. Um, I I don't think I did drugs at that time. I don't know. There might be a Kundalini aspect to it. I don't really know. But it was definitely very profound. And the weirdest quality, as I said, and I can't overemphasize this, was the instantaneous nature of it. When I think about it, how it would function on a physical level, I would assume it has something. The expression of it on a physical level is brainwaves, because brainwaves, and that's how I think that I'm not an expert in this, but I think brainwaves can change extremely fast, and that's how I would explain it on the physical level. Um, it was definitely something rather unique, and it's kind of sad that experience that is just experience. There's nothing to it. There's no good or bad to it. It's just another experience. But there's very big taboos on this to not share this. Um, I've spoken to a lot of people who have out of body experience, something I never experienced, and they always are very hesitant to share this. And um, I would wish humans in general would be much more open, but I think it's something that will happen at some point in the future, I guess. But people are much more open to the unusual experiences they had. Um, One thing I have to add is that in general I have not a lot of these experiences. Like, I'm very based in reality. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any pseudo crap, so to speak. Um, so yeah, I don't believe in there's something holy or unholy, or there's a good and a bad. That's all crap. So I would argue I'm a very based person. So when it comes to that, um, yeah, I don't know. I would be very, very interested if someone has similar experiences. What you made of them? If you had, well, also what I would be interested in is if you have any negative, as much as it pains me to say, but what was the negative outcomes? Because it's not only funny, and it can mess up your life for. I remember I was messed up for years. Um, because you kind of need to integrate it into your daily life as this little human doing the little human things. Not always that easy. Yeah, I don't know. If you want to share, I'm happy to engage. Otherwise, just see it as a crazy story or whatever.